let us know as we also start off a review of some of your reactions to the major talking points. Kayode joins me now to do just that.
So, I guess that you want to ask me if Enugu Rangers. I saw that coming, so let me just get ahead and answer. Well, I have 2 clubs in the MPFL.
Okay.
3SC and Remo Stars. Thankfully, Remo Stars came second. 3SC, well, they did well, but not as well as I expected. So there goes the answer to your question.
Okay. Well, so I just have a favorite by name, Heartland of Owerri. I like the way they call it, Heartland of Owerri. I don't know anything else about how they perform, by the way.
You don't like the Eyimba?
Eyimba. Yeah, by the name also.
There you go.
They're all my favorites.
So let's get into what's big, what's trending. It was a busy week. And I mean, there were some spots that didn't quite come out well. And I think top on that list was a fire that got to Christ Embassy here in Lagos. A huge fire. It was shocking. I mean, look at this. Still questions about what caused the fire. You may have heard.
This is big.
Yeah, the Lagos officials saying they're trying to find out what caused this huge fire yesterday. And look at it.
Thick, black smoke, and billowing into the air.
So let's take a look at what Nigerians have to say about this one. And we begin with Simon Akor 15 on X. It's very shocking, understandably. And this user says, what could have started a huge fire like this? Took the question right out of our mouths. Hope no one is involved. And this user says, my hearts and prayers are with Christ Embassy Church. We understand that so far there's been no casualties. So thankfully, that will answer your question. But the property destroyed, we still haven't put a cost to it, and the cause as well. So we'll get to find out in the coming days.
Yeah, we really need to know what caused such a huge fire. This one is from Anthony Samuel Ikojo, who says, I hope there are no casualties. Yes, we can report that no life was lost, thankfully. And he continues by saying, my heart goes out to the Christ Embassy family. God will rebuild his church. Amen.
And I understand that Pastor Chris had said, well, they will come out bigger and better from this. First, it was Household of David. You recall Household of David some months back. There was a huge fire, literally consumed the church, now Christ Embassy. Well, take a look at this next user. And this is from Efemena. Says the fire is quite a lot. Seriously raising what would have caused an outbreak of this magnitude. So the cause is a consistent thing. The fire has been put out, of course, as we've heard, and it took a lot of work from emergency responders. Trucks upon trucks coming in, just empty their content. That's what we have.
And we're also grateful for quick response from the emergency agency to put out the fire. Do we have more time for this talking point, or we go straight to the next one?
Well, let's just move on to the next one.
Which is on NDLEA bursting a snake-guarded shrine in Edo State where illicit drugs were stored. Interesting one. Mysterious, if you ask me. And the first reaction is from Madam President, retired. And she says, I hope NDLEA arrested the snake. Oh, the secrets that snake would reveal in detention. So there's a lot of sarcasm this Monday morning.
Because we've had our fair share of reportings around animals, snakes. I think
swallowing money at jam.
The monkeys at some point?
Yeah, monkeys.
So yeah, that's where this particular comment is coming from. It's quite interesting. But a lot of people have been commending the NDLEA. Edeno_Bernard also says, well done to the NDLEA for the work being done here. It looks like a weekend thing. Every weekend, you always expect somebody to come out of the NDLEA as a recent bust and the rest. And people have asked, what happens to what is taken afterwards? That's been a huge question. I think the NDLEA has tried to answer that question, but you understand those questions keep coming in, particularly when they see new busts being made.
Interesting. Maybe the next one we're going to burst would be a shrine guarded by an elephant, and maybe the drugs are stored inside the elephant. There's nothing that,
not recovered from the sarcasm. This is Monday sarcasm there.
All right. So this next one is from Mayowa, who says, the NDLEA officers deserve high praise for their diligent work and successful operation.
There you go. So kudos to the NDLEA, at least from these users. But let's move on to something that the president said to have ordered recently. And that shocked a lot of people. And the fact that President Tinubu ordered immediate sanctions for civil servants collecting, now listen to this, salaries after relocating abroad. So this is what it means. People relocated abroad and they didn't sever the ties to the payroll of Nigeria. So they are eating their cake and having it. It is shocking. It is mind-boggling. That is theft. That is corruption. The list goes on and on. But take a look at what
Those workers with their physical bodies abroad.
Come on. I am Chimamadi has the first one, says if they are fully delivering their job responsibilities and have not violated their terms of contract, then it should not be a problem. But if otherwise, sanction is appropriate. I think this order is quite clear. Those who have left the country and no more meant to be, they're not working for the civil service. I think that is what the order is about. But it's more to make that clarification.
And there is more to it than meets the eye, Kayode. This has to be investigated, up to the leadership of such ministries that may be found wanting here, because it speaks to the possible fact that, it was an unceremonious exit for these category of workers, and it couldn't have been done without the help of, some bosses, some line managers. So are they complicit in this as well?
If you're out, you're out. If you're in, you're in. Allow others to get that position. So can you actually be doing the job from outside the country? They'll say, well, work from home. But does the civil service have the infrastructure to really work from home? Well, take a look at what Emmanuel, okay, you took that. Demilade_XN is next, saying, shouldn't there be a system whereby civil servants who are not working aren't collecting pay? Is that too hard? This user asks.
Valid question. This next one is from at Friedrich Adewa1, who says the federal government should not only sanction them, but get them arrested for theft and conspiracy. It's quite disheartening. Why would someone relocate abroad and still be on the federal government's payroll?
So the civil service is in focus this morning because the next trend also speaks to that. And this is from the head of service, who says that HND holders from polytechnics should undergo 1-year mandatory training if they will move from the executive to the officer cadre. Those were her words that Folashade Yemi imagine. Take a look at what Nigerians have been saying to that, because there are a lot of HND holders, right? By the way, you start from OND to HND, and then you follow the process before you serve, and then you get employed. So this first user, Success IBN, says, in the Polytechnic, you do CWES after your 1-year OND, and then IT after the completion of OND, then NYC after HND. So what other training is expected again? This user is asking.
I just wonder if it's not too much, discrimination and burdensomeness, put on, graduates of polytechnics. First of all, they have to do CWES, and then they're discriminated against. Some organizations would not employ graduates of polytechnics. And then if they want to do masters, I believe there's been an experience of a colleague in the past who was required to first have a Bachelor of Arts degree before they could qualify to do masters. So adding another 1 year pressure to what they have to experience again, I just wonder.
We need clarification on that one. So just one more before we wind up.
Yes, and this one is from Ibn Success, who says, okay, you've taken that. This one's from Ike Chuku Kinsley, who says 2 years of OND, 1 year of industrial training, 2 years of HND, 1 year mandatory training, 1 year NYSC. That's 7 years. If a man spends 7 years trying to acquire HND, how many years left for him?
There you have it. Let's anchor at this point for now, at least.
Yes, of course. This by no means is the last of this conversation. Perhaps we'll be exploring it in the coming days. But after this time out, we'll kickstart the program, and by looking at this security or otherwise of your personal information with the custodian, the NIMC. It's an important conversation, and you'll profit from it. So stay with us. We'll be right back.